Hello people, what is up? This is Xfires here, and welcome to my best MMOs of 2017. Okay, number 10 is going to be Lord of the Rings Online. Lord of the Rings Online is an MMO set in the Lord of the Rings universe, which is one of, if not the most iconic fantasy setting in all of history. Lordaeron, as they call it, is still going strong even though it is 10 years old, coming out in 2007. Lordaeron has had plenty of content added over the last 10 years, and there is still more to come. A new expansion is on the way, adding Mordor to the game and much more. Lordaeron is a free game that allows players to level with very few restrictions. Some things you might have to buy though are bag slots, mounts, and a few quest packs. On top of all that, genre standards like crafting and questing are all very good. They offer many hours of content to anyone looking for a time sink. Players are also able to purchase and decorate homes, all of which provide easy access to banking, healers, bards, and other amenities. Lordaeron also includes unique modes like player versus monster player, which also allows gamers to step into the shoes of an orc, warg, or any other servant of Sauron. All in all, the true polish of the game should be enough of a selling point to go download it for yourself. It is free after all, even if the combat may bear a striking resemblance to one other big MMO, World of Warcraft. At number 9, I have ArcheAge. If you want to lose yourself in a medieval fantasy world in which you can do pretty much anything, ArcheAge is where you want to be. You can be a powerful warrior, wading your way through battles with giant swords and a group of companions at your back, or you can focus on the economics of the world as you take on the challenges of farming and trade. You can even become a pirate that raids traders and plunders loot. ArcheAge also has a huge focus on mounts and travel. Not only can you gallop across massive worlds astride wild mounts like lions and deer, you can take to the air and sea. Players can call upon everything from rowboats to warships, and sail across the sea, and aerial modes of transportation like gliders and airships. I still recommend ArcheAge, even with all of the bad press that's gone around its launch and first few years. They recently put up Fresh Start servers, and you should definitely check them out if you're a new player. The Fresh Start servers created a level playing field for all, and I think it's the perfect time to jump in. Runescape is my 8th pick for the best MMOs. Runescape has been recognized by the Guinness Book of World Records as the MMO with the longest playtime per player, and it is easily the oldest game on this list, launching 4 years ahead of World of Warcraft way back in 2001. RuneScape deserves a mention because it is the most updated and popular game of any kind on the planet, with over 2 million accounts and fresh life since a non-browser version launched last year. RuneScape remains the high watermark of MMO endurance and engagement. A huge part of its lasting appeal is the open world approach it takes to standard RPG questing, instead of a linear story or a blend of main quests and side quests. RuneScape offers players the freedom to choose their own paths to power and success, and because skills are advanced through use, similar to the approach to progress in the Elder Scrolls franchise, it's possible to build a character who are as laser focused and specialized or as broadly knowledgeable as you like. My 7th pick for the best MMOs right now is DC Universe Online. I haven't played much of DCUO, only the first few levels or so, but I do think the combat is great. While DC Universe only just hit Xbox One recently, it has been available on PC now for a staggering 6 years and continues to lead the pack of superhero MMOs. Its access to DC Comics' massive stable of highly recognizable, iconic characters mean players eager to play alongside legendary heroes like Superman and Batman won't be disappointed. But DCUO wisely allows users to use and create unique heroes with custom abilities. Even further distinguishing it from games like City of Heroes or Champions Online, DCUO's gotten rid of tap targeting and instead went with action combat. This is a good move that makes battering enemies up feel a lot truer to the source material. Adding an interesting story about the alien invasion and some cool gear and leveling options, DCUO is a winning formula, especially now that it's free to play. Neverwinter is my 6th pick. One of the most beloved settings in the Dungeons & Dragons catalog, the Forgotten Realm rests on a foundation of decades of highly embroidered fiction and best-selling novels. A series of events centered on the vulnerable city of Neverwinter have reshaped the world of Faerun. Cryptic Studios capitalized on this exciting transitional period in one of the best free-to-play MMOs of the year. Neverwinter captures some of the unique flavor of the Forgotten Realms while focusing on fast-paced combat and mechanics borrowed from tabletop versions of Dungeons & Dragons. Wizards and priests, long relegate to the back of the adventuring parties, now support the abilities to output some impressive damage on top of buffing and healing abilities. At the same time, Bruiser Warriors gain the benefit of powerful, spell-like abilities, further blurring the lines between classes. Neverwinter does an excellent job of propelling players forward and keeping the action fresh, while ensuring that background systems like invoking and crafting aren't given a short shaft. My fifth pick for this year is Rift. Rift is another great example of some of the most familiar elements from the MMORPG genre done exceptionally well. Tryon takes standards like character building and streamlines them, innovating just enough to make Rift distinct from the similar games while adhering to if it's not broke approach to design. In the case of leveling skills, for instance, players choose up to 3 souls that function like skill trees, and you can then decide if you want to spread points around multiple trees or focus all your character growth into one. The game's big appeal, the opening of Rift, provide world events that scale based on the number of players in the region. The appearance of these interdimensional portals does a good job at fostering an us versus them mentality in the players and help contribute to the feeling of community absent in most MMOs. The dramatic consequences of these invasions, like the death of NPCs and even quest givers, can ripple across the game world and have substantial impact, imparting a sense of player urgency over the virtual world they are inhabiting. My fourth pick is Star Wars: The Old Republic. Coming from a veteran storyteller at BioWare, it is not surprising that the focus in Star Wars: The Old Republic is on narrative. Fully voiced cutscenes, fleshed out characters, and plot within plots have led some characters to claim that the story in The Old Republic is better than anything in the prequel trilogy of films. The Old Republic lets players engage in their favorite Star Wars power fantasies as noble Jedi or treacherous Sith. They can also be smugglers or ruthless bounty hunters. There are few things as satisfying as building a badass lightsaber or lethal blaster, and then cutting a swath through the alien races in the Star Wars universe. A steady stream of updates adding new stories, pets, and weapons and other top-notch content have made the Old Republic one of the most attractive games to delve back into, even if, like me, you've taken a break since launch. Now we get into the top 3 picks. All of these games are amazing and should definitely warrant an install onto your computers because, after all, 2 of them are free to play. So, my third pick is Guild Wars 2. Unlike so many entries in the MMO genre, Guild Wars 2 does not try to best World of Warcraft at its own game, instead striking out into interesting new directions with divergent ideas about how online games should be played. It freshens tired MMO conversations in a novel of ways, and eliminates the subscription model in lieu of a free-to-play model that never feels suffocating. Guild Wars 2 also benefits from dynamic events that give weight to player actions. A town you've ridden of its org prosecutors might later find the same orgs regrouping in a nearby cave or constructing siege equipment to retake it. Actions in Guild Wars 2 have consequences that are reflected in meaningful ways in the game, which gives developers the opportunity to reflect events as they might in a single-player game, an almost unheard of luxury in MMOs. The result is a game world that feels reactive and alive, and makes leveling, questing feel more like an adventure and less like a grind. My second pick this year is The Elder Scrolls Online. Players have explored discrete portions of Tamriel and other Elder Scrolls games, but Elder Scrolls Online offers up almost the entire continent to explore and plunder. In the new 1 Tamriel update offers up every area in the game to newcomers and veterans alike, removing the level requirements that previously hampered exploration. The game world is massive, giving you plenty of dungeons to plunder and enemies to defeat, and even plenty of characters to meet. But what may be most interesting to you is how much ESO feels like you are playing an Elder Scrolls game. ESO has all the MMO tropes to suck up your time, like crafting, loot hoarding, and raiding. But the action-oriented combat system and the optional first-person camera perspective give the game an Elder Scrolls feel. If you've done everything in Skyrim and are looking for more, Elder Scrolls Online is definitely what you're looking for. Elder Scrolls Online also has superb story and voice acting for every cutscene. I personally think that this adds a whole new dimension of great gameplay and drew me in for hours upon hours. My top pick for MMO is the obvious choice. The game I've spent over 28 days on one character is World of Warcraft. Though many have tried, none have yet succeeded on topping World of Warcraft as the king of MMOs. World of Warcraft continues to succeed in large part because Blizzard is never content to rest on their piles of cash. New features are constantly being introduced into the world's largest MMO, and with the practically unlimited funding that millions upon millions of subscribers provides, it is difficult for even the scrappiest competitor to keep pace. An unbelievable wealth of content and patches and full-blown expansions continues to ensure World of Warcraft's place at the top of the heap. Every time subscription numbers start to slip, a new expansion, fully laden with new delights, shuffles onto the stage and sucks all the addicts back into WoW. Legion protruded this trend earlier this year with a massive new era of class-specific questlines and brilliant evolution to daily quests, the World Quest system. Until something both revolutionary and remarkably polished steps in to siphon off some of those diehards, the end of WoW's reign is nowhere in sight. I also think Legion is one of the best expansions of all time, so if you haven't tried World of Warcraft, it's free up to level 20, so go download it and check it out.